diagram. On the first station, we point towards the C and lose the clamp, take to the second station B and again points towards C. When it joins point C, then we again clamp the plane table board over there. So, this is the orientation by back sighting as being shown on your monitor screen. So, centering, the point on the paper representing the station being occupied by the plane table should be vertically above the point on the ground. This operation is called as centering of the plane table. This may be done by means of a plumbing fork or U frame. To do this, place the pointed end of the fork touching with the point on the paper and suspend a plumb bob from the other end. Shift the table bodily until the plumb bob hangs vertically over the center of the station peg. If the plumb bob is not available, centering may be done by dropping a piece of stone from the point under the side of the board, which is directly under the point on the paper. That is, in the absence of plumb bob, you can use the stone for centering purpose. Accurate centering is necessary for large scale maps. When the scale is small, accurate centering becomes needless task. So, orientation and centering are interrelated because when one is done, the other gets disturbed. Therefore, both of them have to be done simultaneously. So, there are errors in plane table. What are those errors which we find in plane table? So, first is instrumental error, error due to manipulation and sighting. Third is errors in plotting. We will study one by one. First is instrumental errors, the top surface of the plane table not being smooth, it should be smooth. Second is the working edge of the leaded may not be straight, make it straight. The vanes of leaded may not be vertical, so make it vertical. Horsehair may be loose or inclined, it should be made tight or vertical. The plane table fittings may be loose, it should be tight. Magnetic needle of the trough compass may be defective, you should check it regularly. The two ends of the plumbing fork may not be in alignment, so make it in alignment. Level tube used for leveling the table may be defective, so we should also check the level tube at regular intervals. So, the above errors may be eliminated, that is, we can eliminate these errors if the instruments are checked before the start of the work. So, this is quite important. So, before start of the work, you should check all the instruments and accessories and adjusted if required. Second is errors in plane table to manipulation and sighting, due to manipulation and sighting. First is the plane table not being leveled, it should be leveled. The table may not be properly centered, centering should be done. The plane table not being properly clamped, it should be properly clamped. The plane table not being correctly oriented, it should be correctly oriented. The objects not being properly bisected, we should bisect the objects very properly. The leaded not being properly pivoted on the station point on the paper. The rays not being accurately drawn from the station point. Next is the leaded may not be placed on the same side of the station while working, that is, leaded must be placed on the same side of the station while working. Third part is errors in plotting. So, what are the various errors which we do or commit during plotting of the map? First is by not using a good quality pencil with a fine pointed end, that is, the pencil should be very sharp. By using a wrong scale or different scale, the scale should be correct or the same. By not observing the correct measurements from the scale, that is, we should do the measurements from the scale very correctly. And the last is by not using drawing sheet of good quality, that is the quality of the drawing sheet used on the plane table should be very good, which may shrink. If the quality of sheet is not good, it can shrink or expand with temperature, it can shrink with temperature. So, the quality of the sheet used in plane table survey should be very good, so that it does not shrink or expand with temperature. So, these errors can be minimized by working very carefully. So, we should work with the plane table very carefully. General instruction or precaution.